Hello friends, Dan Litvin from AYI here. Today is another Yin-Yoga session. We released one about a few weeks ago and the feedback that all of you provided was so great that I figured it was time for round number 2. And it's also a really good time because it has been an extended period of time when some of our shadow sides have come up and we've had to deal with turning and looking at them. Yin Yoga is an opportunity for us to slow down the mind, to slow down ourselves, to slow down time, to enter into stillness. And through that time of slowness, through that mental stillness, we're able to see a little bit more clearly and from a higher vantage point of perspective. And from that point, like a bird flying high, we get to see what is true and what is untrue, what is deeply impactful and what is maybe a little bit more trivial. And when we're dealing with some of those things that come up from these extended bouts of isolation or from these fears and anxieties, sometimes the root cause is very meaningful and is so true, but the way that we let that play out becomes a little bit of a farce. And we get caught up in that and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, this downward spiral. So with Yin, we take a little bit of an internal vacation because we can't go anywhere externally right now. At least we can tap in. So I'll invite you to root down, to breathe deep, and to enjoy the stillness and the stretch and the sensation. For class today, as usual, 2 blocks will be great. You shouldn't really need anything too much more, except actually, I do take that back. A blanket will be very nice. And with that blanket, taking it down towards the lower third of your mat, we will be on hands and knees for a good amount in class today. So this will be supportive. And the other thing too is just like the other Yin class that we had, there will be an extended period of silence. The idea is that you have your own experience. I don't want to go and impose my experience onto you. So if you're unfamiliar with Yin, then watch the other class. I'll leave the link in the comments below. I guide through a little bit more about what Yin is there, but if you're experienced or you're adventurous, then root down, tap in, and enjoy. Let's get started. Let's get started kneeling today. Just take a few moments, letting the eyes come to a close, shoulders back and down. You'll have plenty of time in your Yin poses to tap into breath. So let's just take about 5 to 10 right now. The first few, nice and deep, finding a little bit more of that depth. Physically inhaling, filling up the stomach and chest. And through time, a little bit longer with the breath. And you're welcome to continue with your pace of breath. If you're seeking a little bit of guidance today, then try to keep up with the pace of breath that I'll dictate. So let's inhale to a count of 5 and we'll exhale to a count of 5. So exhaling everything out. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continuing on your pace for a little longer. And you're welcome to keep this pace of breath if it feels good, maybe deeper, maybe a little more shallow. But let's get a little bit of movement before our first yin pose. So find your way to tabletop. And from this point, let's find some cat-cows. Inhaling, hips up, chest forward, the eyes are open, gaze is up. Exhales, rounding the spine. Back and forth, the pace of your breath. There's going to be a lot of quiet in today's class. This is an opportunity for you to tap into yourself, to cultivate some stillness, to be with yourself. If at any point you feel a little lost in that silence, then come back to that breathing we did earlier. Inhaling to 5, exhaling to 5. Maybe by the end of the class, you're counting to 6, 7, or maybe even 8. Next, inhale to a flat spine. Taking the legs together, sitting your hips back towards the heels, walk your hands forward. And next, inhale, swing the hips to the right and forward. Exhale, left and back. Finding some nice hip circles here. And if it feels better to move faster or slower than the breath, you are always invited to do so. Good, next time hips are back, switch directions. Left and forward, right and back. Next time the hips are back, stay there for just a moment. A brief child's pose here with legs together. Let the forehead relax. And then pull your way forward once again to tabletop. One more little warm-up movement here. Taking the right shin and knee down, hands down. Left leg moves straight out to the left. And then coming back down. So some fire hydrants here. Maybe exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Back and forth with or without your breath. Next time the knee lifts up, instead of taking it down, take it forward, around and down and back. So some nice big hip circles here. There will be warmth created. That is part of the goal. Good. Next time the knee is down, switch directions. And then take the knee down and shimmy out side to side. Maybe even look at that far hip when you do. Excellent, back to neutral. From here, grounding the left side, both hands. Next time you exhale, lift the right leg straight out to the right and back down. Continuing on. Next time the leg is up, again, forward, down, and back. So some hip circles here. Next time the knee is down, switch directions. Good. Next time the knee comes down, once again, bring it down, legs together, and then let both hips hang out to the left. Look over that right shoulder towards the right toes. Inhale slowly to center. Exhale, side two, looking over that left shoulder. Inhale to center. And let's get ready for the first yin pose of practice. Right leg straight back. Look between the hands, maybe a little in front, and then exhale, step that right foot there. Right ankle underneath the right knee. And then feet would be hip distance apart. Take the hands to flank that right foot. I have blocks here because they might be helpful. We did this in the last yin class, so take the torso upright. And then exhale, long spine, relax forward, and let the hips sink on down. So there might be a stretch in that left quad, might be in the hip flexor, might be in the glute, in the hamstring, somewhere around here. Letting those hips sink, letting the torso relax, maybe forearms on blocks, and easing into the pose. Taking a couple more breaths. Very good. Hands solid onto a support. So very slowly lifting the torso tall. Take the blocks back a little bit and then let the front leg begin to extend so slowly towards straight, painfully slow. Good. Sitting the hips back. Maybe taking a brief, gentle stretch over that right leg. And a couple breaths here. Next, inhale, bending that right knee, planting that foot, and then taking your way back to tabletop pose. From here, shimmy around a little bit. Good. Notice the difference between the left and the right side. And let's get ready for side number 2. Left leg back, look between the hands. Exhale, step. Taking some time, finding your position. Again, left knee over that left ankle. Blocks are delightful here. Lift the torso, let the hips sink a bit, and then letting that torso relax on forward. If over time you start to notice this knee track in line with the left toes, and take this whole left foot forward in space a bit. Otherwise, when you're ready, sink down, release, relax, and hopefully enjoy. Taking a couple more breaths here. Hands on block. Slowly does it. Torso lifts tall. And like was done on the other side, left leg painfully, slowly towards straight. Good. Once it gets there, if and only if it feels good for you, maybe a gentle stretch. Next, inhale, bend that left knee. Take the hands down and the left leg back in space. Excellent. Like you did before, shaking out the hips. From here, keep the hips over the knees. Begin to walk the hands forward, letting the torso come down. Maybe you come onto your forearms. The heart is going to melt towards the ground. This is called melting heart. Maybe chin comes down, maybe forehead comes down. Maybe you stack forearms and you rest your forehead down, finding something that works for you. Blocks can be good here as well. Ultimately, finding a nice back bend to support your experience. Taking about 3 more breaths or so. Good. Starting to walk the hands in. Slowly does it. And find your way up to a tabletop. When you get there, just hold, reaching the crown of the head forward. Hips stay over knees. Straight spine. Few full, deep inhales, complete exhales. Bring the big toes to touch, the knees wide, and start to settle hips towards heels, child's pose. The next inhale, pull your way forward. Come to a tabletop. Good. Right leg reaches back behind you. Look at the pinky of that right hand and do your best to step the outside of that right hand. Your blocks might be really nice here underneath your torso. Take a moment to lift the torso. Crown head reaches forward, long spine. Do your best to keep that right knee over that right ankle. And with your next exhale, begin to sink the torso down. Forearms to blocks, to ground, whatever feels good. And again, knee over ankle. Feel free to walk that foot forward if need be. Take some time, sink in here. Bring awareness back into your breath. Now if this left arm feels solid, keep it where it is. Otherwise, take that left hand solidly onto the ground. Take the right hand atop of that right knee. Again, knee over ankle. I will belabor that point home. From here, gently does a twist the torso. Now there might be a tendency to take a little bit of a back bend here. You'll have some time for back bends. Try to keep the spine nice and straight, and then look over and up if that works for you. Breath or two more. Next, exhale, unwinding. Good. Taking your hands down. And from here, start to walk this right foot over to the left, over to the left. So that right foot is behind the left hand. And then draw that right knee down to the ground. You guessed it, getting ready for pigeon pose. So settling in. We haven't really done too much for the glutes, so this might not be the depth that you're used to in a vinyasa class. So be honest with yourself. Prop up as is supportive to you. And as you're ready, sink down and forward. Enjoy a few more breaths here in your pigeon pose. And gently begin to lift the torso tall. If there's any support underneath you, please move it out to the side. And then come onto that right hip. From here, you're going to roll onto your glutes, taking a seat. And we're going to come into a nice hamstring stretch. So right foot to the inside of this left thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, hinging forward, heart reaching in towards left ankle. Once you find a nice stretch, relax the torso. Taking about 1 or 2 more full breaths. With your next inhale, lift the torso. Let's try not to make this movement too awkward. You're going to walk the hands to the outside of that right thigh. Start to shift the hips forward and come into a kneeling position. Hopefully we're all there together. Sit onto your heels. If this isn't working out for you, a block underneath the seat is fine. If you're doing that option, please take the knees hip distance apart. From here, begin to walk the hands back so that they're on the ground. And then you're going to start to puff the chest up, either looking straight up or if it feels okay for the neck, relax the neck back. We'll hold here for about a minute's time. If it feels too much, please come out and enjoy a seat. About a breath more. Next inhale, lift up. Easy does it. Head gently lifts up, ears in line with the shoulders. Maybe hands rest on the lap, eyes closed, taking a seat. Let's start to make our ways to get ready for side two. So coming to all fours, tabletop. If you've been enjoying having a blanket under the knees, please bring it back. And now let's lift the left leg back and then step it on forward. Pinky side, that left hand. Excuse me for being a parrot here, but left knee over the ankle. Feel free to stack blocks, anything that will serve you. And as you're ready, sink on down to your lizard pose. Enjoy a breath or two more. And then, like last time, making sure that that right arm is supported. Could be on the block, or you could take it down on the ground. Take that left hand right atop that left knee, straight spine, and from that straight axis, twisting the torso. Maybe looking over that left shoulder, crown of the head keeps reaching forward. Taking that one more incredibly full inhale and exhale. And starting to unwind smoothly and gently, hands down. And then getting ready for pigeon on side 2. So walking those left toes towards the right. And then taking that left knee down. And then maybe walking that right leg back, sitting up tall. Both sides are different, but you know that at this point. So please prop up as appropriate for this side. And sink down as you are ready. Enjoy a couple more breaths here. And easy as you do, walk those hands in, lift the torso. Remove any supports from underneath that left side. And start to slowly lower onto those left hips and then coming down to a seat. Take the left foot to the inside of that right thigh. Sit up tall. Exhale, first long spine, heart towards the right ankle. And when you can no longer sink down with a long spine, relax the torso. Enjoy. About 2 or 3 more breaths here. Inhale, gently lift the torso tall. Good. In that strange little awkward transition, walking the hands to the left, turning the torso, finding your way into a kneeling position. Good. From here, sitting nice and tall, few full cycles of breath. Next, inhale, sweep the arms wide and up. Take the left hand down to the left, and then reach the right arm up and over the right, coming into a side body stretch. One more breath cycle here. Next, inhale, sitting up tall. Both hands down to the ground beside you. Relax the shoulders, crown of the head tall, spine tall. Time for side 2. Lift the left arm so tall, trying to touch the ceiling with your left hand, but relax the shoulder blade down the spine. Walking the right hand maybe to the right, allow that left hand to sweep over that left ear, bending through the left side. Nice big breaths here. One more breath cycle. Next, inhale, lifting slowly on up. Just like before, taking the left hand down. This time, let's take the shoulders forward, up, back, down. So one more time, forward, up, back, down. Relaxing the shoulders heavy, the hands can stay beside you or can rest on your lap. Eyes to a close. Take the hands down. If there's a version of camel in your practice that you would like to take, this is a great chance for it. Otherwise, I'll guide you through the one we did before. Take the hands back behind you. Maybe the palms down to the ground. And then let the chest lift any degree that feels good. Maybe the shoulder blades come towards one another. The head can relax heavy back, the chin can be in towards the chest, or the neck can be neutral, your choice. Next, inhale. Start to slowly lift the torso up. And then let's come forward onto our stomachs for a brief crocodile pose I will use as a transition. So resting down, feet about mat width apart, maybe toes outwards. Stacking forearms or hands, forehead relaxes down. As you're ready, find your way onto your backs. Taking your time to get here, because when you find your way onto your back, let your feet be about mat width apart, knees bent, maybe toes gently knock in towards one another, thighs together. You can rest your hands wherever they feel good, maybe on your lap, beside you, Ala Shavasana. Maybe you take one hand on your navel, the other hand on the heart center. Taking some time to breathe here. Maybe you revisit that breath we did at the beginning. Inhaling and exhaling to a count of 5. Maybe now with the body stretched and the mind still, the breath can expand to 7 or 8, 9, 10, maybe even more. Begin to take the feet in. Shins, knees, thighs together. Gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Take the arms out to a T or goalpost, and then let the knees drop down to one side, taking a supine twist. Enjoy another couple of breaths here. Next inhale, lift those knees on. Taking a moment on your back, the knees in. And as you're ready, let the knees drop over to the other side. Another couple of breaths here. And as you're ready, knees lift up. Like you did last time, just keep the knees in the chest for a moment. Extend one leg towards the bottom corner of the mat. Extend the other leg towards the other bottom corner. And then let the arms fall into any position that'll be supportive for Shavasana. Allow your breath to once again expand with the inhales and find completion with the exhales. bring some movement into hands and feet. Into wrists and ankles. Arms stretch up and overhead. Legs stretch down. And as you're ready, find your way to one side of your body. Begin to gently lift up to a comfortable seated position. Hands relax, crown of the head reaches tall. After a nice yin practice, when the body, the mind are still and relaxed, it may be nice to continue being in stillness through meditation, or at least some deep breathing. So I invite you to stay. But dear friends, this is the point that I depart from your practice. Thank you for letting me guide you today. The light within me honors and reveres the light within you. Namaste.